let's skip to the NBA. All right, we've been talking a lot of NFL, and rightly so, but there's some NBA stuff going on too. The trade deadline, of course, is Thursday. And there was a trade today. C.J. McCollum, the nice little guard from Portland, 20-point scorer, he goes to the New Orleans Pelicans from the Portland Trailblazers, and the Trailblazers get Josh Hart, Thomas Satoransky, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and Didi Louzada.
Gesundheit.
Yes, if you haven't heard of him, join the crowd.
I'm trying
Also,
to figure
Larry
out who
Nance
that
Jr.
is.
and Tony Snell going to New Orleans along with C.J. McCollum. But they're selling this, the Blazers, as, this is not necessarily a rebuild that we're getting rid of Damian Lillard. They're selling it, Rob G., correct, as we're clearing up cap space so that we can add better players around Damian Lillard. But, Rob G., the big free agents, you got James Harden, you got Kyrie Irving, you got Bradley Beal,
Zach LaVine.
4 guards. Now, they may be better than CJ, but adding one of those with Damian Lillard, I don't see that changing the fortunes of the Blazers. I think it is going to end up being a rebuild, whether they feel that way or not. And what that would mean, Rob, is that Damian Lillard would be traded somewhere. And I think they'll do him a solid and be like, look, whether they determine that this summer, I think it'll be this summer, but I think they'll be like, look, we'll work with you to get you to a contender or get you, to a place you can compete for a championship. But I do think at the end of the day, not this day, but, he's going to end up being moved. And so this is what I want to throw out to you, Rob, because obviously the biggest trade chip in the league is Ben Simmons, and there's talks ongoing, or at least rumors, reports, that the Sixers and the Nets will at the very least talk about seriously.
Yeah, but the Nets have come out and said.
They said it, yeah, but the people still are reporting.
I'm just saying, didn't they come out and say
it?
that it's not happening?
Yeah, they've said it.
Okay.
It doesn't mean it's true. But I believe it because I think it would be.
Look,
I think your best shot at winning a championship
is give it a shot this year and see what happens.
If it
and then go
work,
that. Then you.
And they're down. Speaking of the Nets, they're getting demolished by the.
They have
Celtics,
nobody playing, and they're getting killed
30.
by 35, right?
Well, here's one thing I want to throw, because this will be their 9th straight loss, and they will fall to 6-13 since Kyrie Irving joined the team this year. But, and I'm not making excuses, this is just a fact. Kevin Durant will have missed 13 of those 19 games. James Harden will have missed 6 of those games. Nick Claxton and LaMarcus Aldridge will have missed 10 of those games. Joe Harris, the shooter, will have missed every single one of those games. So there are other factors beyond the poor chemistry, which looks like it's there.
Yeah,
the lack of morale, which looks like it's there. And the bad execution. They are banged up, and they don't have players. And tonight, DeAndre Bembry, Patty Mills,
they don't have anybody.
Bruce
Come
Brown,
on.
Blake Griffin. Yeah, it's just a mess. So, but here's what I want to throw out to you, Rob. If you're Philadelphia, would you rather and you can trade Ben Simmons for either Damian Lillard or James Harden, which one do you want?
James Harden.
Tell me why.
He's just better. I'm sorry. He's just a better player. And that's no knock, and I'm not saying Damian Lillard's a bum or he can't play, Chris. Who's one of the – and I know they're both on the top 75 list. One guy belongs on it. The other guy came in on the back through the back door.
Fired.
I'm just saying. Come on, Chris. He's not a top 75 player. You agree with me?
James Harden has had the better career and been the better player.
That's all I'm saying.
No doubt about it. But I don't know that I would have said this a few weeks ago. I think I would go for Dame.
Wow.
Because
Chris, what happened to your NBA acknowledgement? And
this is the knowledge. I'm about to drop it on you. Obviously, Harden's had his issues in the playoffs, in the big moments.
So has Dame.
Yes, but not as many as Harden. And
Just
Dame's
right,
had
because he hasn't
better
been to
moments.
it. Because he hasn't been able to get his team there.
He's had better. Right,
Okay.
and he hasn't been as good as Harden. I'll give you that.
Okay.
But there's something else with Harden, and I don't know if this is what's going on now. But I don't know that it's not what's going on now. Is James Harden sulking again? Like the way he sulked out of his way out of Houston, and I got it then. I got that. Look, we sat down with the Rockets. We told them we wanted out. They said we're going to try to trade you. I said, okay, I'll play until I'm moved. And I go out there and I'm balling, and then you guys aren't really trying to move me. So he went in the tank for about 5 games.
And you remember he looked like he had on a fat suit. You remember that?
Yes. And then they traded him. But, Rob, is that going on again? Harden had 4 points the other night. And I just want, if indeed that is what's going on, and I don't know, maybe the hamstring's bothering him, but he clearly isn't happy. I don't think he's happy with Kyrie bouncing in and out of the lineup. I think he thought he would be okay with it, and he thought, you know what, Kyrie's going to get a taste of how good we can be and get vaccinated.
I bet you if the Nets could do it all over again, they probably wouldn't. I didn't like it, Chris. I didn't like it. I thought that they set themselves up for this inconsistent, you know,
Well,
and as good as he is, I know, but it's just not what a team. It's just not.
I'm not above. If I'm the Nets, I'm not above sending Kyrie back
just
to the
saying,
shelf.
it's
Look, we tried. It didn't work out.
It's not working,
right?
We can't do this.
We can't go. And would he get vaccinated? I doubt it.
No.
But I agree. I think maybe I would watch it for a little while longer.
It's too much upheaval.
And then be like,
right?
talk to Harden and KD and be
So
like,
dude, this
look,
isn't what we can't do this.
Right. But here's my point,
Okay.
Rob. If Harden is back in the tank, even if you're bothered with what Kyrie's doing, that shouldn't affect your effort. That shouldn't affect your spirit. That shouldn't affect your drive. You are one of the best players to ever lace him up. Go out there and play with some heart. And if he's not, that's a character flaw that I think would keep him from being a 1 or 2 guy on a championship team. And so that is why if Dame Lillard is excited, would be excited, and that's an if too, but if he would be excited about playing in Philadelphia equally to James Harden, then I think I would go with Dame. Even though he's not as good of a player. He's good. He's great. But he's not as good as Harden. And now they've both been down a little. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think that Harden ultimately, Chris, has something to play for. Like,
does he? Why isn't he doing? You know
no,
what I'm
I
saying?
know, but I do believe that if he's in Philly with Daryl Morey and Embiid and maybe gets rejuvenated there. We saw what he was when he first showed up in Brooklyn. He was like, you loved him so much. You were like, he's an MVP candidate. You remember how good he was playing great, and everybody's like, well, is this going to work out? He made it work, and he looked like he was brand new and enjoying every minute of it. And so I still would take him. I'm just not as big on Dame, and I've seen him.
He's not as good. I'll give you that.
I'm just.
He's not
and I've
as
seen
good.
him. You remember in the playoffs last year, Chris, when he went crazy with the threes.
Right.
You remember to send the game. What was that? Double overtime. You remember that? He made the big threes to tie the games up and send them into overtime and extra sessions. So I know he's a player. I'm not dissing his ability as well. I would just take the better player.